this is Steve the Salt Zine. Thanks for coming back. Not long ago, it seems like there wasn't much good music being created. Now, what do you know? Vinyl starts getting repressed, and whew, it was easy to find a top 10 to 20 albums this year, but way difficult to number them. A few of these I've shown in previous videos, so you can go check those videos, check those out. I got to this list late because so many of the albums I was interested in came in right at the end of the year, and I had to wait on shipping and stuff. What I did get this last year yet did not put on the list are albums that are new yet 1 or 2 years old or something. I did get a lot of re-releases and albums released on vinyl for the first time, such as from Rox Records, that I'll show in the future. Also, I got some 2 complete discographies, also I'll show in the future. This time I'm drinking something a little fancy for this occasion. If I can get it open. Just have to open it when I plan to. Okay. Some Martinelli's Gold Medal Sparkling Cider Northwest Blend. Love this stuff. Not quite like Slice, you remember that, but it doesn't need to be. It's not necessarily. It's not really carbonated, I don't think. So good. It's sparkling apple juice. Now, before we dive in, I felt like mentioning a few others. I'm pretty anxious to show you how I acquired this picture disc set by ELO out of the blue. This, I had never got around to talking about this Meshuggah album from 2016, which nice black inserts, lined inserts. I got the gold, which I thought was pretty cool. There's 2 different versions of this. It's a nice spot gloss on this. Well done, real well done. Great album. All the Meshuggah stuff's incredible. Holy Grove. Easily one of my top LPs I got this year. It took me a while to track one down that wasn't $200. This one I got on a nice blue splatter, subtle slight splatter. This Billy Anderson Heavy Psych album is a must-have. Great stuff. Holy Grove. I believe they're working on another one. Now this Thrice I talked about the last video, and although a real good album, maybe you can tell why it either should have or why it didn't end up in my top albums this year. What is this art? I don't know. Tough one. Good album though otherwise. Now this 2016 Nothing album could have just as well been my favorite album of the year. Since I listened to it possibly the most through the year. Now I hated this album cover as an art cover, as an album cover, but clearly they were quite proud of their handiwork. You can see them painting right there. They sure do know how to make today's nihilistic, melancholy attitude sound good with its massive washes of melodic heaviness. It's a great album. They had a few different variants of this. They pressed quite a few of these, and the early ones really were quite sought after. I can't remember which, pink I think, or something, maybe a pink splatter or something. I thought this, I think it's called Electric Blue, was a real nice contrast to this. So this is a real good album. I'll listen to this quite a few times. So good. Like I said, it wasn't carbonated. Of course it's carbonated. This meant it's not like pop. Anyway, so let's dive in. Unearthly Trance, Stalking the Ghost. This album kind of got set aside and unlistened to, partly because I got it so early in the year, and mostly because I was listening to so much music. Also because it takes a little effort to make dark, negative themes something someone will want to listen to. I've had far too many bad things happen in my life to spend too much time in the land of droning doom. Nevertheless, there's some good Sabbath influenced, High on Fire type sounds here. Plus the art's pretty rad. I wish this was the insert instead of the white they've got in here for this splatter. So art's pretty rad. It's kind of a DIY vibe. Some nice cool spot gloss on here. Good job, Relapse. Vomit Remnants, Hypergroove Brutality. Yeah. It's a nod to I can't think of his name right now. I love watching his videos. Some of the more extreme tunes I picked up this year. It's definitely hyper, and that's kind of the most interesting thing about this band, other than that they're from Japan. One of the cool LPs I've gotten from Unearthly. I really like this artwork. Yet, as it happens, sometimes it looks like it wasn't print proofed, so you gotta see it backlit on the computer screen to see all the cool detail in there. Spiders or whatever's going on in there. They're super tight as a band, playing such blistering tunes must be, yet they do slow it down occasionally. And the more you listen to it, the more different elements you hear. One of the cooler things about this release was this deep, dark, blood red. It's kind of got a smoky swirl in it, too. Very cool release from Unique Leader. Vomit Remnants. Something completely different. Lights in Motion. Dear Avalanche. The artwork really captured me. It's minimalistic yet dynamic. I just had to get this double LP with a variant called Aurora Borealis. Guys at Spartan Records do a great job. They love vinyl and do a great job over there with these releases. And as the musician here, Christopher Franzen, says, he sees music in color, and I concur. This is indeed, you could say, the soundtrack to God's Light Show, this Aurora Borealis. If you've ever seen that, my cousin just went this year, saw that. It's an amazing thing. Most people have actually heard lights in motion, whether it be in many TV shows and movies such as the Fast and the Furious, as well as Apple computers. Uplifting stuff. Really, really good. Cool album. Back to the metal. Hideous, Divinity, Adviniens. I did buy a lot of metal this year, though I haven't shown much of it yet. This is one of the better new extreme metal albums. This Italian band got my attention with this great cover art and layout by Schmergelach. Label Unique Leader lives up to the name with some of this stuff in the extreme metal name. Yes, the Cookie Monster voice is here, as well as the blistering, fast blast beats. Yet, there's some cohesion and clarity, making it enjoyable the whole time. Not just the very few times they do slow it down. This also came on a real cool, rich red mix vinyl with custom logos. Very cool stuff, very cool stuff. So a little bit like kind of a next step from Slayer. I kind of hesitate to say that, you know, it's like Slayer, wow. There's nothing better than Slayer in that genre or whatever, you know, in that. There's nothing like Slayer, but I don't know, this kind of reminds me of like, I don't want to say faster Slayer, it's just like, I don't know, maybe a little more oomph or something. It probably, maybe is, I don't know if I want to say faster. Seems faster, maybe. It seems like a faster Slayer or something. I don't know. So anyway, well, this may have been my most exciting release for the year. Worldane here in the center, unfortunately died toward the end of the year. Next to Dio, probably my greatest vocal inspiration. Definitely the hair inspiration. Holy cow. Right, Nick? My friend Nick still has his hair tab to that length, and that was my goal in life. I miss it for the most part. But anyway, Sanctuary's thrash was thick, giving it more punch. I'd say. Now these recordings on this album are these are 1986 recordings, for the most part with Dave Mustaine, for the Sanctuary Denied album, which I've had for quite a while. This one came with a Ripka poster, which will probably never see the light of day, probably other than today. Not because it's not worth hanging up, but I don't have anywhere to hang something like that. Also came with the really cool, fortunately, I'm really glad they went to the trouble of including this booklet with this is the way to do an insert, you know, when you like to sit down and listen to the music and get into the album. So, you know, Ripka's different styles of logos along the way, some history of the album, history of the band. Very cool stuff. I ordered the also went ahead and sent it on a lined black insert, and I ordered the green, kind of it's not really moss green or really like, it's like a pine green. I thought that was nice contrast, all about the contrast, from Germany. And this has a I've mentioned this before. This doesn't have a deep one, but there's a little bit of a groove. Maybe not. It's just really thick. Anyway, it's thick. So, Sanctuary, Inception. Godflesh, post-human, post-self. That's why I edit, don't edit. Anyway, a bit of surprise release with their Street Cleaner tour becoming one of my top 3 shows ever. Always wondering if Roderick and Green are going to be able to pull it off again after so many good albums at first, early on. Existing in the industrial and ambient world, minimalism and obscurity prevail. White insert, white vinyl, which is kind of a cool thing for industrial, you know. That contrast, that's, you know, industrial metal. The contrast with the white. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to get at, but anyway, it's just, I thought it was a cool idea. I think they pressed quite a few of these. It's on Avalanche. So that was a good idea for the white. I thought that was kind of nice. Although the design, it just, gotta be careful framing. I'm sure they did everything like they wanted to on here. Anyway, it's nice, but it's all there is to that. Artwork. Musically, it's of course good, yet a little like the art design. It sounds kind of like they're a little bit, maybe like leftover sounds, extended to 4 to 5 minutes than a planned album. I mean, that's sort of what Godflesh is like anyway, but some of the other albums just sound more like songs, you know, and this is more sounds. A couple of them sound like songs. So, you know, they're cool sounds nevertheless. So I kept turning it up in hopes to achieve that devastating crush, you know, to a decent effect. But yeah, it's not as good as I liked, but I wouldn't say don't get it. You know, it's, you know, if you're going to get all the Godflesh, I wouldn't start here necessarily. But anyway, it gets better as it goes along too. So Godflesh, post-self. Chromeo. Now, these guys put the fun in funky. Few guys try as hard to be fly as these guys, as you can tell. Now, this 2007 album is already a classic by itself. What they've done here is on Fancier Footwork is they took all those killer jams and remixed them into something more hard-hitting for a 10th anniversary release. Can't believe it's been 10 years since it just seems like this just came out a couple of years ago. Crazy. But anyway, what got me with these guys is that 80s aesthetic. I was trying to think of that Ghostbuster sound, but I don't want to throw anybody off with that. I can't remember who that is, but anyway. You know, it's found in that sweet, sweet sound made with a huge smile on the EQ. These songs are made for bumping the subs in the clubs. So it is fun stuff. You know, they've got their quirky shtick, you know. But this is basically the 2007 release on A and B. Release lyrics, nice of them. Time Waster. And C&D, also white, thick 180, has got a bunch of very cool remixes. This is definitely, if you're going to get it, either, you know, the regular release or this one, the original release is great, but the remixes are really, really, really good. There's only like 1 or 2 songs that are, I hesitate to even mention that they're kind of flat, but that's because all the songs, I think what it is this, all the songs are so fun to listen to. So anyway, Chromeo, Fancier, Footwork. Bjork, what is this called? Utopia, written in tiny gold letters there. Now, through most of her discography, Bjork has asked us to stretch our ideas of art in music. She mixes percussive sound you may hear in industry with more natural melodies and otherworldly sounds, then layers her silky sweet voice cascading at varying levels. Yes, this is a wind instrument, and it's a frequent feature in this album. If you look at the videos, there's a really cool video. I don't remember which song it is. Just watch all of them. They're all at least interesting, very strange. But anyway, that was really cool with all those girls playing the flutes and stuff. One of the things I've always appreciated about Bjork is her love, her penchant, her obsession with precision, particularly in pinpointing vocal pitch. Now, this album at first appearance was going to land in my top 5, but just didn't, because it takes some mental preparation to get into this headspace. I'm used to just sticking in a Sugar Cube CD and go, you know. But I do need to spend some more time with just me and Bjork some nights and get into this album, because I've listened to it a couple times, and it definitely has to grow on you. It's going to at all, because this isn't debut. This is, you know, she just maybe kind of gets more obscure each album, it seems like. I think she printed 5,000 of these, so I don't know, they might not be available. I think I got this from Rough Trade. I don't remember. 10 Little Indians, I think, still maybe, but it's all too small for me to read. A double peach vinyl. But this, I mean, say what you want about the strangeness of this art, it definitely gets your attention, right? You know, it's, you know, she's got some more simple album covers like this. You know, what, don't know what that is, but it looks interesting, even though it's, you know. But I just, when I opened this up and saw that she had gone to the trouble to print it on the inside of the cover, that's cool. Going all out. She does that. I mean, if you look at her videos and stuff, which she really wants you to see her videos, because she really, I mean, you can tell she put a lot into this cover, no matter how strange it looks. But she puts a lot into it, and so it's really interesting to see. So anyway, looking forward to hearing this some more. Maybe I'll get into it more to where I want to hear it. Some of her albums I really like listening to, and this one, she seems like she's stretching a little bit. She's kind of I don't know. She's just always having fun, trying to just be strange, trying to be artsy. So, Lecherous Gaze, 115. Now, in getting this album, it didn't hurt that Frazetta was actually painting this art around the same time I was being born. I love Frazetta art. One of my favorite artists. But this is some rowdy garage rock. It's grimy yet ultra tight. You know, that's a good mix to me. It's groovy, kind of like how the Ramones took doo-wop and picked up the pace. This takes the Ramones maybe a step closer to, say, Uriah Heep or something. It's something that could have come out on SST Records, if that gives you an idea. It's fun to listen to. So, great album. It's the only one I have of theirs, I think, so far. Well, they pressed this 7-inch for the thing within. It's part of the artwork for the album. It's 45 is a single. Thing within, got a bunch of stickers. More stickers. I'm sure I'll find somewhere for these stickers. But anyway, on the B side is Birdman, which they said they recorded but didn't quite fit the album because it sounded a little too much like Motorhead. So anyway, it's black. They pressed 1,000 of these, and you got it from the band. You got these cool lecherous gaze 3D glasses for the cover. Cool stuff. This is what I call some cool hot rod cruising music. So get this if you're like just good grimy hard rock and roll. It's a fun album to listen to. Alright, so that's the end of side B. Now flip this video over and watch side A. Let's Steve the Salt Zine. Right on.